Hey, welcome to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews. Got the Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed, and this is take two. As we had a phone call I had to take to interrupt the first one. And you don't know that, but I thought we would throw it out there.
Sure, why not?
So, this is day after Christmas. Give you a little timestamp. And we are at our unofficial, official, could be official, but not official because they don't want to be official.
And you only had to repeat your order 5 times.
Sponsor, yeah, Taco Bell, and we're gonna talk a little wrestling. I got a good bit of stuff for Christmas, so that was kind of cool. I got some wrestling related stuff, as I got Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch Funko Pops.
Sweet.
So that was pretty cool.
My mother and my brother gave me this very small piano thing that plays burps, farts, and coughs as a piano. Yeah, so I have to bring it and we'll start using that for bad matches. It sounds horrible because the dogs were like, what in the hell is that?
That's pretty interesting. So, hope you all got your wrestling related gifts under the tree. Hope Santa was pretty good to you. Hope Santa came and not Santa Claus, because if Santa Claus came, it's probably a bad day.
Yeah.
But,
Because somebody resurrected.
yeah, I watched a little bit of wrestling. I didn't watch a whole lot, but I watched a older TNA Impact Wrestling pay-per-view from 2006. It was Destination X, and this was right around the time that AJ Styles was sleeping with Claire Lynch, attempting to sleep with Dixie Carter. Kurt Angle was there feuding with Samoa Joe. Austin Aries had just turned in the X Division title, and as Hogan called it, you either leave with all, or you leave with the heavyweight champion, or if you lose, yeah, basically all or nothing. And so that's kind of the era we in. We see a lot of guys that we didn't normally see in Impact.
They were trying to rebuild the X Division at
Right,
that point.
right. We saw Rubix, who was Jigsaw. We saw Mason Andrews, who was Scorpio Sky. We saw Cameron someone, and I can't remember his last name, but I think he's Black G's from CZW and that kind of area. Dakota Darso. We see Minnie Axl Rose, who was like Lars only. Kenny King was kind of just started. I mean, he was there, but I think he hadn't been there long.
Yeah, that's when he left Ring of Honor as the tag team champions.
Yeah.
And they fired his ass.
Right. Jesse Sorensen had just got his neck broke by Zema Ion. So a lot of stuff is going on. But they do a tournament to qualify for the Ultimate X match. And it was really good. And out of all those guys, we get Mason Andrews, Sanjay Dutt, Kenny King, and Zema Ion in the Ultimate X match. You also get like Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle, and neither one of those are wanting to pin. They're wanting to tap out the other guy.
Was that the cage match?
I don't think it was cage match.
Okay,
I can't. I really don't remember in my head.
Like a MMA style cage match.
Yeah, it wasn't that one.
Okay.
It was not that. This may have been what was leading to that or something.
Okay.
Samoa Joe.
Because there was a long build up to that.
Yeah, Samoa Joe didn't tap Kurt Angle, but he choked him out, and the referee stopped it. So Samoa Joe did win. Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles in the last man standing match was really good. Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode in the main event was really good, and this was the match that kind of elevated Aries to a main event guy, which is great because, you know, just a few years later he just crap on everybody there. So you know, as a thank you for putting me over as a main event guy. So
the guy he put over left and going to WWE.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's still crappy. You know,
I agree.
you know, it's one of those "what have you done for me lately" kind of relationships with Austin Aries. If you hadn't made me great today, then I don't care what you did for me yesterday.
Yep.
But again, he's a turnip eater or something, according to Jim Cornette. So overall, it was really good. It's on YouTube for free. Impact hit 3 million subscribers, and they put that pay-per-view out as a thank you, and it was really good. So go watch it.
Let me tell you something before we go to what I watched. You know, you were saying like Austin Aries become the main eventer on Impact.
Yeah.
Well, he was a main eventer on Ring of Honor.
Right.
Yet, here's something that Jim Cornette said on his newest podcast. He said that Austin Aries would never be a main eventer, yet they made him the champion while he was there. So wouldn't that make him a main eventer at Ring of Honor?
Did they make him a main event or did Cornette?
Cornette. That's what I'm saying. If you put the belt on somebody, supposedly they're a main
Yeah.
eventer. So Cornette's world's worst about contradicting his own damn
Cornette
self.
would talk in circles.
Yes,
a lot of times.
and he did.
And if it didn't work, he acts like it wasn't because of something he did. It's something somebody else did. So I love Cornette. I love to hear him talk wrestling. I don't care to hear him talk about anything else.
But it's just like within the second sentence, he goes, "He'll never be a main eventer." He goes,
"But we put the title on him and pushed him to the moon."
Exactly. He goes, "Even when we put the title on him, he
and we don't think it works. That's the reason he'll never be a main eventer."
Yeah. But he said that Austin Aries is one of these all-inclusive people. He said, even matter of fact, he was like the star of it. He's like, he wanted midgets versus bodybuilders, and shit, stuff like that. So, but anyway, I just thought it was funny.
A neat piece of info from
literally contradicts his own self within like 2 or 3 sentences.
From the I don't offend anybody Cornette because I offend everybody.
That's what I aim for. I can't make everybody happy, but I can make everybody mad.
That's right. So, but yeah, so MLW, they continued on with the Opera Cup.
Yes.
And I have not watched it yet. If you have watched it, let us know in the comments what you thought. But Madman, thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down.
I give a thumbs up for those 2 matches.
Cool.
I cannot remember for the life of me what the first match was. But evidently it wasn't that good because it didn't impress me. Or maybe it was just that good and I just don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But it wasn't part of the Opera Cup.
No,
Okay.
It was not. The 2 matches they had this week was Loki versus Bulldog, which was really, really good. It's kind of a slow build, but it eventually warms up. Give it about a good 3 to 4 minutes, and when it gets going, because they're doing the whole martial arts type thing, because they're both MMA guys, and they really play off that a good bit. It's kind of like Thatcher, but not.
Right.
You'll see what I mean. Probably the last 5 minutes is probably the best part of that match, honestly. MJF versus Hammerstone was really good. It starts with them trying to do the double finger poke, and neither one bumped. And then they kind of back off and they come at each other again and do it, and neither one bump. And MJF's like, "I'm the leader of the Dynasty," and slaps Hammerstone.
And it was on, huh?
And then Hammerstone's like, "You know what? We'll just have a match." And he starts whopping the hell out of him. And Hammerstone actually wins with the sit-out power bomb. I think he's probably gonna get away from that suplex thing, because I think that's pretty hard for anybody to pull off, to be honest.
Well, with the Savio Vega little thing, so
it wasn't a little thing. He about crippled that dude, or he about crippled himself. That's what it looked like, because he couldn't get around.
It was just bad all the way around.
Yeah, you need a move in wrestling that you can pretty much put on anybody.
Right. And you said Holiday really didn't pick sides?
No, Holiday was more or less like, you're both Dynasty. This is just one match.
Yeah.
And even at the end, after he won, he was trying to get Hammerstone and MJF to shake hands.
Did they?
No. MJF eventually just said, "Screw it," and he left the ring. And he just kind of holds his hands in the air, and the crowd cheered him. If they don't make him a face, MLW is crazy.
Well, yeah.
I've seen them.
Well, I guess that technically he gave them Grogan, so Grogan could take the place of the muscle guy.
Yeah, see, that's what I kind of thought. And he wasn't on the show this week, so I'm not sure where he was. I did see that Barrington Hughes is no longer with MLW. I would like to thank MLW for that. And but
I hold you personally responsible for that.
You're welcome.
It's your fault.
Well,
I mean, how dare you?
Show up, get that out of the battle roll, and literally do nothing but hit the floor and walk away. Sorry, Barrington, but it's true.
Yeah. Well, he knows.
When your biggest fight is getting up off the ground, hey.
I don't know, that tickled me.
It's a fact, brother. Watch your own matches is all I can say. I've had crap matches too, so I ain't gonna sit here and get, no, not all of them, only like 85%. So, but I can get up, and get down.
So,
because 911 ain't a joke in this town. You're welcome.
So MLW, good. Was that the only 3 matches?
That was all the matches.
Yeah.
There was
any Manser
promos?
No,
that's what the damn match was. Manser versus
the blindfold.
Yes, the blindfold match.
No wonder you forgot.
It actually was way better than I thought it was going to be, because Havoc takes the mask off and cheats. And
I don't hate that.
what was that garbage girl that was in the very first MLW match? That can't beat up the backstage people without like 35
Priscilla
punches?
Kelly.
She comes in and kicks Manser in the balls.
So
And
she's
gets
with him?
Yeah. So she gets with Havoc.
Hmm.
And I don't know if Havoc isn't with AEW, but I don't see him on the show very much anymore. I'm just saying.
When he got beat up by a commentator.
Well, yeah, it does kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
But and now he needs a girl to come in and kick Manser in the balls. So
somebody's got to be the tough guy.
that's right. But in all honesty, the match was well more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. So I do say watch it.
And I don't hate that Priscilla Kelly is with him. It kind of fits.
But I do find it very sad that since that very first women match, they haven't had another.
It was pretty rough.
Because that thing was absolute trash.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
No, it wasn't pretty rough. That thing was trash and never should have seen the light of day. They should have go, we didn't film that.
And spider lady. Sorry, the camera broke.
Yeah, something. Somebody unplugged it. Oops.
You watch NWA Power? Because I have
NWA Power, I watched it, and they're doing the tournament for the TV title.
Oh, nice.
And I do like that. They have Bad News Barrett, except he's now commentating under his real name,
Stu.
which I was going to say it's Stu something, yeah.
Bennett, maybe?
That's it. And he's not bad. I actually like listening to him do commentary.
Yeah,
he is not
good.
bad at all.
Well, good. Maybe that'll be like kind of like the spark it needs to grab everybody back. You know?
And another thing that helped it was like he's known the villain Marty Scrull for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're really friends in real life. So they did a pretty interesting interview. And Marty's answer was to where he's going. He goes, well, the NWA title was always in the main event. He goes, I would like to shout to be the main event champion at some promotion. He goes, I've never really been the main event guy. And he goes, as far as where I'm going, he goes, hell, even I don't know where I'm going. So,
I said this earlier.
I think he's a little bit everywhere. I know he's working for Ring of Honor, he's working for NWA, and he's working for several indies that I've seen.
Well, is he still working for Ring of Honor? I thought he left.
Supposedly he's got a couple more shows for him.
Yeah. Like my opinion on Marty is, if he goes to AEW, he's just going to be another guy there. And if he stays on the indies, he could be the guy. You know, so.
Yeah, but right now AEW needs some guys because after seeing the actual cluster that I saw of their ending of the main event, where the Dork Order come out and they had a guy that missed Dusty. No, I said Dork. I got it right. They missed the damn Dustin Rhodes' head by this far, punching the damn mat, and sadly Dustin was selling it, but he was selling it like this, so like he couldn't see what the hell they were doing. So he's just thinking, well, I'm getting some crappy punches thrown at me. Too bad they weren't thrown at him, they were thrown at the ground.
See, what had happened was
this guy didn't know what the hell was going on.
His mask kind of turned just a hair, so he really couldn't see. So he was just hoping he was hitting.
Trash, man. And this was so bad that literally the Young Bucks both have taken their Twitter accounts now.
That can't be why they took their Twitter account.
I promise.
It had to get hacked or
because
something.
Daddy got online and goes, I want y'all to know they okay. Like they were in a car wreck or something. You know, I'm like, no, they took their Twitter account down because people were chewing their ass because this was such a terrible angle. That's the truth.
I thought Twitter was why they were famous.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing, you can be famous one day for something great, next day everybody in the world can hate your ass.
Yeah, but you can't run and hide from it.
Well, they did. I'm just telling you. It ain't my fault. I didn't do it. I don't have a Twitter account.
Oh,
not that funny. I can access. My old one doesn't access. But anyway.
That's what happened to them. They forgot their passwords.
Well, no, mine's still up. Theirs is gone. But I just can't remember my password legit. I've tried repeatedly.
Blame Vladimir Koloff. It's those dang Russians. I'm telling you. It's always the Russians.
Vladimir Koloff did it.
Mm-hmm. That was his 26th day of Christmas.
But evidently, Daddy's like, they okay. They just had to get away from the toxicity.
Yeah, so hey, y'all that made us famous, we don't like y'all no more.
No, we don't like what you're saying.
If you don't praise us, then you can't.
It's kind of like, and I do agree, it's kind of like what WWE did with Roman Reigns. Nobody likes the Dark Order, yet they're still trying to shove them down your fucking throat.
I liked it.
And WWE did the same thing with Roman Reigns. But if Roman Reigns actually looks like an athlete and become somewhat popular, and it happened.
Yeah, but it took Roman getting cancer for people to stop booing him.
More or less. Or if
I mean,
he was teamed up with Seth and Dean
Yeah.
Ambrose.
I mean, I'm a Roman Reigns fan, but I don't watch. So.
I saw him when he was doing the Tarzan gimmick up in Jackson.
Yeah.
I liked him better doing that.
So what else happened on AEW?
They did the Jungle Jack versus Jericho for a 10-minute match, and it was okay. It wasn't great. I could tell that Jericho was leading the match big time.
Right. I mean, this is a guy that's been in the business a year and a half.
I was going to say, I think he's been. Yeah, I think they said 2 years. But at the end, he was sitting on him literally with the walls of Jericho. Jericho basically was almost sitting on his dude's head.
And he wouldn't tap?
And he wouldn't tap.
Nice.
And then he asked for 2 more minutes, and he slapped the announcer, and the announcer said, okay, give him 5 more minutes or whatever. And he got back in, and Jungle Jack started getting a little bit of the upper hand, and Jericho just leaves. So that was probably the biggest thing.
Well, nice. I like that. I like the build.
It wasn't bad.
They made him look great because he didn't get beat.
I did like this part that, what is his name? Jack Swagger. I can't remember what his real name is.
Jake Hager.
Jake, thank you. I knew it's damn near the same
Yeah, it's
name,
very
almost.
similar.
So, but he come out with Jericho and Dinosaur and the midget, Marco Stunt, come out with him. Well, they all got into it outside, and the referee sent them both to the back. So that was cool. So it did come down between. It was just 2 people. So they got that out of the way pretty quick.
So Marco was fighting with Jack Swagger? Jake Hager?
Yeah. Well, kind of. You know what I mean?
What
the hell's he going to do? Beat up his toe?
I
like Marco,
I like too,
brother, but he's 4'0", you know?
Seemed like, I'll beat your thigh up.
That's all he can do. I've met Marco. He come up to like my underarm.
Which the cool thing about, like, I always hate when you see a smaller guy trying to punch a taller guy. I'm like, just punch him in the balls.
I've been his best ball.
Quit trying to hit him in the face. You can't reach his face with a ladder.
Well, he's legitimately not much taller than one of the bigger midgets we had on the show before.
Yeah.
So when I say that, I'm not saying to be mean. I'm saying that like he's damn near the size of a midget.
But it works for him, you know.
Yeah.
So
he makes a good mascot, and he's actually a good wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, I think he fits great with those guys. Like it's a comedy. He adds comedy to it. You know, the stuff he does is good. So, yeah. Well, I watched Gorgeous George, and this is definitely a horrible segue, but I'm just gonna throw it out there because we're getting close to running out of time. Gorgeous George, not the WCW Gorgeous George, not the Mastro, but the Gorgeous George from like 19,
When they come out with a huge mirror.
I mean, so flamboyant. The footage was really horrible, but he was wrestling like a guy, and I can't remember his name, but it was like he's like the British champion or something like that. And it was 2 out of 3 falls.
It wasn't Carl Gotch, was it? Okay.
It was just like a guy like you've heard of, but you can't remember him, kind of deal. But the manager comes out and wipes the ring down and sprays everybody and all that. It's just so great. And then George comes out, and the commentators, like, they are putting it over great because, and you can tell like these, like, it's so new. You know what I mean? At the time. Just for that, like, they're laughing and chuckling, but it's not in a making fun way. It's like they were totally entertained by it.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how he had spent 3 hours getting his hair done, and he was pulling out his Georgie pins, not Bobby pins, but Georgie pins, and they were gold. He threw them to the crowd.
He had like a perm.
Yeah, and it was crazy. And I don't even remember the falls or anything because I was working as I was watching, so I was more or less listening to the commentators. But after the first fall, the manager brings out like this air tank, and it says air, like Florida air, or air from Florida or something. And George has to get it. They're putting over like, he's got to get that Florida air. He says this air's too polluted, and he doesn't want, the air filled with cigarette smoke and blah blah blah. And I mean, this guy is a master. I mean, freaking master.
He literally started sports entertainment.
Holy crap, he's so good, but not. I mean, his wrestling was okay. Like,
he wasn't a great wrestler.
But the match was really, really good. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But it just his pageantry. You know what I mean? But the cool thing is, like, I don't ever want to hear anybody talking about all these high spots, this, that, whatever. Because his opponent, like, he gets fired up and he hits him with, like, 3 headbutts, like, I could best be described as something like either Spike Dudley or the Bushwhackers would have used. And then literally hits him with a drop kick, a nip up, a drop kick, a nip up, a drop kick, a nip up. And I'm like, this dude is the freaking Young Bucks of fucking 1908. I'm like, he was kicking butt. Like, he was doing all the acrobatics, you know what I mean? And I wish I could remember his name, but I can't. And I think it was like Jack Perry or something like that.
I guess
like,
it was a Jackie Robinson.
Not Jack Perry, it's Jungle Jack. I think his name was Jack something. I don't remember what it was. But, I mean, just the fact that he was pulling a Shawn Michaels over here with the nip-ups, you know what I mean? Like, it was great, and that's what, like, beat him. Like,
well, if he was European, that makes sense. That's their style.
But, I mean, this was, 100 years ago.
Yeah, but still, that's been their style forever. That's catch wrestling.
So, I mean, it just blew my mind that, how we talk about, these kids with their flips, and I'm like, they were doing it in the freaking early days of television. Like, come on, those guys is the reason you got guys doing flips. But it was great. It was super good. But that's really what I've watched. I mean, I watched that, and like I said, it was like a 25-minute match. Probably 10 minutes of it was all Gorgeous George doing his stuff, and not in a row, but like in between falls and stuff. But it was phenomenal, man. Like
2 out of 3 fall match.
Yeah. And I mean, it was really good. I can't even remember who won. Who won, who lost was irrelevant. It was really good. I'm gonna go back and watch it again. It's really grainy and it's hard to see, but it's phenomenal. Like,
is it kind of
it's all like black and white.
That's what I'm saying. But it was kind of like Monsoon versus Andre. You ever seen that boxing match?
No, I haven't.
'Cause that's bad. Like, the match itself isn't bad, but the footage is terrible.
Yeah, like the quality, like if you had to like squint your eyes to see them. You know what I mean?
How
like,
was.
It was pretty bad, but it was great, man. The commentators, like I say, it was real. You know what I mean? It wasn't sports entertainment. It wasn't anything. But because they had never seen nothing like him, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they were tickled, but you could tell, like, they would have paid $10 to see the other guy fight. They paid $100 to see George.
Exactly. He was something different.
Yeah, I mean, he was just so good. So, man, like, you want to be entertained, go watch some Gorgeous George, man. Like, it was good.
I got another one for you to watch if you haven't seen this, and you'll be entertained, but at the same time, you're kind of like, wow, it's kind of sad. Ric Flair on ice skates and bumping on the ice, and it was like he fell in slow motion. And then he's getting pulled up off the ground by, like, his girlfriend and some old guy.
Like, is him old?
Oh, yeah.
Like now?
Oh, yeah. Like, this just happened. And when he gets up, they're blades. So Rick's feet are like this, trying to get up, and I'm thinking his knees are shot to hell. And he's trying to get
back.
Up. I'm like, and he's all hunched over trying to do this ice skating, and I'm just, whoo, boy. I woke up, and that's literally the first thing I saw this morning. I'm like, do I talk about it? Sure, why not? It's Ric Flair. I mean, I have to talk about it. But if you find Ric Flair ice skating, enjoy it. It's kind of sad, but it's the same thing. I think he's more or less laughing because you hear his girlfriend like, how are we going to get you up?
His wife, man. Did they get married?
Girlfriend, wife, you know what I mean? Yeah, because it's
That's Fifi.
Yeah. But she's like trying to get him up, and she's trying to turn. It's some nice guy stops and helps him. And
if you've never had to pick an old person up, it's
no
tough.
Kidding. But
I couldn't imagine doing it on ice skates.
It does end with the guy helping him get up, and Ric Flair's like shaking his hand.
Well,
so I'm like, think about that's how your day begins, is you're helping Ric Flair off. Like, who's this? Oh, holy shit! It's Ric Flair. Thanks for helping me off the ground, man. That sucked.
Well, we're not going to beat that, so we're going to end it right here. So watch Ric Flair ice skating, watch some Gorgeous George, and until next time,
hit with your punches and watch wrestling.
Later, guys.